great morning this morning, having a coffee out here in the front. Did some footage of the bed up here because fall is in full effect and some of these plants are getting ready to be taken out. So we can go ahead and do some fall planting, but we wanted to do a garden tour of what's left here, basically the end of summer, even though we're in fall, but this is what's left right now and what it's looking like at this, stage of its growth.
We also had a lot of rain. We had like a whole week of rain, so it was kind of, you know, it's always cool to come out after a whole week of rain and see what's happening with the garden. Most of the time is really, really good, even though a lot of plants tend to overgrow. They give us a huge surprise. We come out and we're like, whoa, and I'll show you some of those right now. Some of the plants that just keep on, you know, loving the rain and just getting bigger and just always so pretty, but they can also overtake some plants. So that's something that we're gonna show you too, because sometimes they can, you know, if you don't maintain them, they can overtake some plants, and then some of those plants you probably end up losing them. And we have some of those that we end up losing because the rain kept on, what would you call, making the plants too heavy and fall forward, like the hydrangea, for instance, and covered some of the plants. So we'll go ahead and talk about that and show you which plants made it and which didn't.
Yeah, so these hydrangeas have some massive blooms, and with the rain, it weighs it down. So some of the plants that we underplanted with are not gonna get as much sun, and you'll be able to see in the video, like the super petunias that are getting plenty of sun, they absolutely love it, and they're growing. They have a lot of color. Some of the ones that are closer to right here where we're at down here are not getting as much sun because of the tree and then the hydrangeas overlapping it. So you'll be able to see that, and we'll talk about it a little bit more when we do the tour.
So before we get going with the tour, we do want to, you know, because it's very special. Every area of the garden is very special. This is very, very special to us because this is the area that we start planting around spring with our, you know, for the plants that are going to pull through all the way through summer and around this time till frost, you know, hard frost. And why it's so special is because we do this planting with our family. All the kids come out together and they have a big say-so on what we're going to plant. And it's mostly always the plants that we get sent by program winners that we plant up here. And it's always amazing to be able to see how beautiful these plants, you know, how they do through the whole time. Everybody gets to see the plants too. A lot of people pass by and they see them, and we get to spread the word also about program winners. You know, they get to see the plants, how they, through the whole time themselves. And it encourages them as well to go ahead and plant them in their gardens or start gardens. We also get a lot of pollinators up here in the front.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's not just for pretty; it's to attract pollinators. You know, and actually about pollinators, we actually have a very, very beautiful butterfly that comes by all the time. It's a sweet little girl that always comes by with her mom, and her mom actually made her this beautiful little monarch butterfly costume, and oh my goodness, they come around, they take photos, and that just makes us so happy. So it's just been such a, not just for us, but as we say all the time to everybody when they pass by and we get to talk to them or they send us messages in the neighborhood, we always tell them this is not just for us. The front of the garden is intended for the whole community, for everyone to enjoy it. So it's been a blast having this area up front. So we'll go ahead and show you the rest of the you know, what's happening up here, and so we can start figuring out what are we going to do. What are we going to remove? So we can start doing, you know, our fall planting. So we're going to go ahead and start up there by the door, the front door. It's looking a little bit like a jungle. Let's talk a little bit about how the hydrangeas are drooping to the side. As you know, it rains a lot here. So we're in Virginia, Zone 7B, and in our area, it just rains and it pours. And even though we cut our hydrangeas the way they should, you know, every towards the end of winter, they still do that because, you know, like I always say, be mindful of where you plant them. We have them right by the front of the house, and well, when it rains, the rain just splashes all the way down. But I actually love the way they form into excuse that, could they hear that?
Maybe.
We're on a base, so you can hear right now they're practicing, and it's loud.
That's artillery going off, guys, in case you heard that.
That spooked me a little bit. So yeah, I actually love the way, this year we didn't go ahead and stake them up. I told Ambrose, I love the way they form into each other with other plants. I don't know why. It's just something that I love so much. I don't fight it. I said, let's leave them alone. So I'm probably going to go ahead and trim. That's something else that we're going to do. I didn't let y'all know in the beginning of the video. We're going to go ahead and do a little bit of cleanup while we're doing the garden tour. So yeah, probably going to cut a little bit of these. I usually come and cut hydrangea around this time because it's still early in the morning. So I cut the panicle hydrangea. This is limelight hydrangea from Proving Winners. I cut it, the flowers to take indoors to dry. Once you start feeling them papery, and I don't know if y'all can hear it, but it's already there, so it's ready. So let's go ahead. I'll cut them in a little bit. But I want to show you this right here. So before we start talking about the annual, I'm going to talk about the beautiful evergreen right here, this blue point cypress evergreen. My goodness, it's just one of my favorites. I did want this one because of the red of the home. I thought it would just look so pretty, and it's been doing great. This is going to be actually, it's going to go on 2 years already. We got it last fall.
Yep.
So happy birthday to these guys. They did amazing through winter too. A lot of you were I remember y'all sent us messages asking us how it did, because we had a really bad winter, you know, everything was so frozen. We thought we were gonna lose them, but they've done amazing. And this is actually the hottest part. We are in the south part of the garden, but right here, especially because the door is black, it gets so hot that sometimes I really have to be careful what plants, you know, we place up here so they don't get scorched from the back. But he's done great, and they grew quite a bit from last time. So yeah, I love this plant. This right here is Plum Dandy from Proving Winners. So all these plants that I'm going to show you up here are from Proving Winners. This most of the time they're the plants that we get sent by them to review, to show off to you guys, so that way you can get an idea of what you guys want to grow and how they do in our garden. So yeah, like I said, this plant right here, Plum Dandy, I don't remember the actual name of it. It starts with an A. We'll put it up,
yeah,
if anything. But this plant is part sun to full sun. It can take a little bit of shade. I wish we would have gone ahead and tried it on the back in the shade, because it's done amazing here too. I would love to know if it gets this big out in the shade, or probably stay a little more compact. But it took over. We had other annuals in here, which I don't know if you can even see them. I think these are Bidens we had. I had coral bells. My goodness, I can't even, it's right there. And so we had these little plants that I put around them, and this, I had no idea it could get this big. So if you want all foliage I would honestly plant it in a container all by itself, just one, because that's just one right there. Imagine a container, just this beautiful foliage just sitting in there. That would look so pretty. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and just trim it back, and before we start planting for fall, and I'm gonna use it as a spiller, and let's see what I can sneak in there with fall plants. But that's what I wanted to show you towards the end. We'll go ahead and start snipping a little bit of the things, so that way y'all can see, you know, how much I cut back. What else do we have here? Yes, so I was speaking about how when it rains a lot, the plants put on a lot of growth, and we don't have, you know, it's raining. We don't come out here and do any cleanup until it's, you know, done raining. So if I have other plants around here, they end up suffering because they don't end up getting a lot of sun. So this is a container that I put together all of perennials a while back, and it did amazing while there was all this plant right here wasn't covering it. It bloomed for us so much with some of salvia that I had there, some other little perennials too. We did get to enjoy it, but all this is going to get moved. So I really just wanted to do this video about, you know, the plants that we were growing, the annuals. I'll try to make it quick with some of the other plants that we are growing, how they've done. We do have a cacti here. This little guy, the only reason I want to talk about him is because some of you were asking us, how do we grow cactus and succulents here? I know we have a little pot out back of succulents. We really don't do anything, no watering, nothing at all, because it's very, very rainy here. They get water on their own. We just make sure that we have them in a place where they get the right amount of sun so they don't rot. And then we're about to bring all that in already. It's time. We're hitting 40s, 50s at night already.
Yep.
Temperature, so it's time to take them in too. So today, this is it. He will be going in. And then we have the roses right here. This is one of the roses, Amberness, I think it's called, from Proving Winners, one of the new ones. It bloomed its heart out. This one is supposed to be a mini climber. You can also shape it into a small shrub if you want to, or a small, very tiny climber. And I'll show y'all later. I think we're going to cut it back, right, a little bit.
More likely.
It already did a lot of flowering. I'm sure it's going to probably do more, but we're going to move it towards the back. And then we have over there the Strawberry Hill, a David Austin. And that one's been flowering, and it's starting to, a lot of the roses that lost a lot of their foliage because of the beetles, the Japanese beetles, they're putting on their foliage again. So let's see how it does. So we're gonna go ahead and come and show you the containers before we start showing you the bed. We'll end with the bed. So this right here has been, I am so happy that we went with this combination for this growing season. I'm so happy. I thought it was gonna be too much to have the peppers grass. I love having peppers grass in the garden, especially in containers, but they can get really big sometimes and they can just look like too much. And I thought here it would do that. Of course, the plants are already, really grown. We'll probably put a little bit of that video. I did do a little bit of, I'm like squirrel. There's a butterfly still coming around. We still have a lot of pollinators coming around. But yeah, they've done really good. I know this one, I'm gonna move towards this way. I know we had a storm, right? This past, last week? And we had this guy fall over quite a bit of times because of the winds we were having. So I'm very happy that it didn't break that badly. But as you can see, it's been a little disturbed because of the way it fell over. I did cut them back. I cut them back. I didn't get to share that video with you guys. Time just flew by. I usually do my last trimming of annuals, like for petunias around September. Mid-September, I give them a very, very good cutting. And they bounce back, as you can see, and they're looking really pretty. Then we have that Citron Lantana, Lucius Citron Lantana, which is a new one for this year out in garden centers, and it is just beautiful. I love the color. It's a yellow, and it's yellow, but it's not too bright. It's just perfect. And then of course, Ambrose Petunia of the Year, Supertunia of the Year. You want to tell them why you love it so much?
So this one is, if any of you have grown Supertunia bubblegum, this one is very, very heat tolerant, and we'll show that when we get to the rest of the bed, how the ones that don't get sun don't look as great and bright, but these right here get plenty of sun. And I will show you up here, because those right there are getting the same amount of sun as these right here in the container. So those Supertunia, this is Supertunia Jazzberry, and I think it's my favorite Supertunia of all time right now.
Yeah, and I've seen them in other gardens. Huge. Yep. Growing like so big for them, and they have them like in full sun gardens, right? So they can get really big. It turned out to be a good Supertunia for this year too. And then of course, I think the star of this year for us in our garden has been the Coleus, which is El Brido Coleus, which is also a new plant for this year in garden centers from Proving Winners. This Coleus is amazing. As y'all know, a lot of the new Coleus is nowadays being bred are for full sun, not only just for shade, but they do wonderful in both areas of the garden, shade and full sun. So yeah, this guy has been getting cut back so much, and I actually I snip them and take them inside, and I use them as decorative and in a vase to decorate with it on the tables. I think it's just so pretty. What else is in here? this right here, which we weren't too happy with this year, and we were very excited, but I think it's because, I don't know, I don't think it just doesn't get enough sun.
Yeah.
So this right here is called cake pops. It's another type of verbena, which grows a little mounded.
Yes, it's supposed to be mounded, more mounded than the actual meteor shower verbena, which grows very upright. And I think when we planted this one, I think one of the things we have to keep in mind is for future plantings is, when you have some other plants that outgrow plants very, very quickly. For instance, the Coleus grows pretty fast, and the Supertunias grow pretty fast. And when you have a plant like that not the meteor shower, the cake pops verbena that was very, very small, it basically didn't grow up fast enough. And that's my opinion. I don't think it kept up with the other plants, and it kind of got outshined.
And I did at once cut it real back, like really short, the Coleus, because I knew it was probably through the middle of the growing season.
Yep.
I went hard on this guy. I cut him back really good to give that one opportunity for that verbena to grow, to get sun, but it didn't. So I don't want to give up on that one. I want to try it out in the future because I've seen other people grow it, and it grows beautiful.
Yep.
So once again, I can't stop talking about this guy. You can't go wrong with pepper's grass. And of course, all these plants, not all of them are completely water hogs. The lantana is not, and the little verbena isn't either. But everything else thrives off of water, a good watering, and of course, pepper's grass loves the water. So
yep.
I honestly only had to water them once through the whole season. Even when it got really hot for us in summer, we did the one good watering in the morning.
Yep.
And then I actually switched over to using the drip. So in the mornings had the drip too. That was it. And just fertilizing them. We're still carrying on with the fertilizing until heart frost, and then we'll go ahead and, get rid of the plants. But yeah, I'm just thinking of what I can do for fall. Maybe leave it there and just add a few pumpkins or something. We'll see. We're going to go ahead and move on to the bed, which is, I think, the funnest part of the front garden up here. So, of course, we have to start with the hydrangeas because that was something that when we found out on this last move, when we found out that we were moving here to a zone 7, me and Ambrose looked at it. We both looked at each other, and the first thing we said was like hydrangeas. We lived in a hotter climate. You have to give them some which was zone 8. So 8B at that, right? Was it 8B?
No, 8A.
8A. So we needed to give them some protection from the afternoon sun, especially because they were very, the hydrangeas we had at that moment were very, very young at that. But when we knew we were going to move here, we knew that it was a zone 7B. We were going to be able to enjoy these beauties out in full sun. And we have them in full sun here, full sun area, and they've done amazing. These are 3 years old. First things that we, decided to put up here.
Yep.
They've done amazing. We love them so much. I've used for decoration indoors. I cut flowers so many times, out here. The girls even made some wreaths and, gifts for teachers. They've just done amazing, and they just keep giving, and that's just something that I love so much about these. And this variety is limelight hydrangea. It's really, really pretty. There's some that are still coming out, new blooms at that. It has that beautiful color of the pink, that H pink that I love so much. It's just so pretty. So, yeah, enjoyed very, very much. And, they're so easy to grow at that. And, being on a slope here, the hydrangea takes really well to areas like this that have a slope as well. So they're not, they're very easy plants to grow. So then moving on the bottom, we're going to go ahead and see, we've had a few little things here. We did get to enjoy some strawberries this year. Ambrose did plant them. Y'all, you plant them a little late, right? With
I
the
did.
Kids?
It was pretty late, yeah.
I think the birds enjoy them more than us.
Yeah.
But the kids got to come out here and pick a few. Ambrose has some herbs planted too, which help a lot, as this is the full sun area. We play around with this area like that. Whatever we can squeeze in that's edible, we'll do it.
Yep.
And then, once again, as you can see, we have this right here, which this is a
bush daisy.
yes, a bush daisy, and excuse us if we don't know the name, we will put it down below. But this is also for Peruvian winners, and they have been just non-stop going. They're beautiful. We, as you saw on the other side, we have them too, planted with the jazzberry supertunias, and the color is just so pretty. And then we have, you know, underneath, there's still some going, some of the petunia. We had a lot of rain, so as you can see, some of the petunias started to like get too much rain.
Yeah, so that's what I was talking about. It's a combination of the rain and then the shade from the tree and the hydrangeas. They start to fizzle out a little bit. As you can see, there's remnants of some down there. But the ones that are getting the sun, like I said, I didn't want to move too fast here, but the ones that are getting the sun right here at the edge gets plenty of sun. Nothing's blocking it. The tree doesn't block it there. And then the ones I showed you on the other side of the bed.
They've been doing, it wasn't bare like that. Through the whole season,
no, it wasn't.
We had a really nice patch of, all you could see on the bottom was a petunia, and it just looked, the supertunia jazzberry, it just looked beautiful. What I really loved about this supertunia is that it got full. I couldn't even see any of the leaves. It was just nice and full, nice compacted, I think. It didn't grow super wild. It was just nicely formed to the edge right here of the front of the bed, which just looks so pretty and dreamy. It just gave it a very dreamy look. And you know, so I'm not too bothered for it to start fizzling down already. We're gonna refresh anyways. And then of course, oh my goodness, the salvia that Ambrose has been wanting to have, and he finally got to see it like this. I'll let you talk about it.
So this salvia right here, this is Rockin' Plain the Blues, and I'm absolutely loving this salvia. As you can see, it's planted way back there, but it's made its way towards the front here. But this salvia is absolutely a pollinator magnet. And I mean a pollinator magnet. As you can see over here, there's still some bees out here, carpenter bees at that. But those guys are still attacking the salvia. They're absolutely loving it. Butterflies, moths, everything you can think of that loves pollen is out here having a feast on these.
That color is so electric.
Yeah, very beautiful purple.
My goodness, it's just beautiful. I love it too so much. So then we did have some, I'm gonna say, lemon coral sedum planted in there. But all the, you know, the plants grew and took over it. It's still hiding in there somewhere.
Here's a good spot of them right here. Some lemon coral sedum just growing everywhere. You can see that.
And we'll go ahead and show photos of how it looks when we first started the bed. That way you can see what was planted. So let's not just talk about the good stuff that we've been enjoying, right? Let's talk about also about things that didn't make it. Not that we didn't enjoy them, we did get to enjoy them. I'm talking about the new sunflower that Peruvian winners had out this year, which is called Saturn. It was what, this incredible Saturn, something like that called.
I'm gonna show you guys what Angie's talking about.
So because of so much rain and the hydrangeas ended up drooping forward, those guys didn't get the sun and they died. I didn't take them out. We left them there. Today we will be pulling them out. We just wanted you guys to see sometimes it doesn't happen. And, you know, it did hurt me a little bit that they didn't make it because I love sunflower and I wanted to see it up in the front, especially those new ones, the Saturns, you know, that have that. It has, I think, like a reddish bronze, I think.
Yeah, it has a bronze ring.
Ring, just so pretty, but we'll grow it again, you know, in the future. But we did get to enjoy it a little bit, but it's okay. Because when you plant a lot more, if something doesn't make it for some reason, you still have a lot of others plants to enjoy. So that's okay. So all I know right now is that I'm seeing gaps, and those gaps are gonna be filled with something beautiful for fall. So then later on, we weren't done. I decided that I wanted to go ahead and bring something from the containers on the bottom, which is the Coleus, El Brido. So we went ahead and added 2, because we know that Coleus can get really big if you let it. One year we actually put them in the middle of the hydrangeas in between because those were very young still, and it actually filled out like a bush.
Yeah, we had some, what was it, Golden Dreams?
And it grew like
filled out quite a bit.
So I think it was really nice to add these. I love to let them seed, go into flower at the end of the season. I don't know. I just think it's so dreamy.
Yeah, they're fizzling out right now, but as you can see, some of these over here, when they had plenty of flower, they had a nice little, like a lilac color flower, right?
Yep, and butterflies and hummingbirds go crazy for them.
Look very beautiful as well.
It adds something else to the bed towards the end of the season that I think it's that wispy look that just looks so dreamy, and the wind comes by, it just looks so pretty.
I'm seeing something else that we planted in here that we completely forgot about. It's we have some meter sharp verbena.
Oh, look at that! It made it out.
Hanging out, but again, a lot of this stuff was covered up, guys. So you know, we planted it in here hoping for the best. And, you know, sometimes things just don't work out the way you want them to. But
this little guy wants to be seen. So
it's going.
Yeah, and you know, I started off the season watering by hand because I wanted to enjoy it so much. But then it started getting really, really hot, and hydrangea needs that good soak. So once the temperature started going up into the 90s, that's when we started to use a drip, and everything just watered itself. I still used to come out and once in a while use the water hose because I love it. But we're back now to watering by hand.
Yes.
We'll talk about watering in fall soon too on another video. I think that's it.
Yep, that's pretty much it here.
We've enjoyed it a lot. So what we're going to start doing right now is closing it out. You'll just see us running around, cutting little things here and there, preparing it, because we are headed off to the garden center pretty soon.
Yep.
We already got some plants this past weekend for fall plants, and we can't wait. But I want to go and grab a few more things to stack up this area. I just want to fill it out with a bunch of fall beauties. It's, you know, it's the last hurrah. It's a thank you so much, growing season, you know, for all the beauty that you gave us, right? So we're going full blown with it, and I can't wait. So yeah, let's see what we end up doing with the containers too. I think I don't know. I think I should leave the papyrus grass and work with what we have.
Yep.
Let's see if we can do that. Okay. Do you have anything else that you want to add?
Nope, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, this is, hate to say it, but this might be the last time we plant this summer,
First summer.
You know, bed up here. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, Ambrose is a little sad about that. Me too, because we enjoyed it so much. We learned so much from this area. We learned when we first got here, the first thing that I was like, oh my goodness, I've never planted on a slope.
Yep.
What in the world are we gonna plant? And we can't do something permanent. You know, we couldn't, what is it called? Leveled it out permanently or do anything like that. So these plants did amazing. So if you have an area like this that you want to work on and you don't want to add any types of, what is it called? Leveling walls?
Yeah, any retaining walls or anything like that. I mean, we can't do that here, but that's, you know, you can still do some planting. Yeah. Okay, guys. All right, so that's going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to close this out with doing some cleanup and showing you some beautiful video of these plants here. Goodbye. Bye.